Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. Welcome to another market open stream. Of course, there are a lot of things to talk about. Some more macro stuff, less geopolitical, but more macro stuff to talk about. And also, of course, these Bitcoin bottom signals that are screaming buy right now. Let's take a look at those signals and everything else that's going on today. All right, let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you can see, Bitcoin is still holding very well from yesterday's pump. We are at 72.6, slightly below that next trend line, which is right around, or support line, I should say, right around 73.8. But today the US market is opening in the red. Are we going to see a turnaround? Yesterday was quite a surprise. Despite all the negativity, all the turmoil and chaos that's happening in the Middle East, yesterday we had a good recovery, a good bounce day. Are we going to see the opposite today? Let's see. Dow is down 300, Nasdaq's down 100. We still have like Robinhood, that's MicroStrategy, and Coinbase barely down. We will see how today goes. So what do we have to talk about? Well, obviously, with what's going on in the Middle East, things are still escalating. There are a lot of talk still about AI. This is actually a hot thing. Once again, right before the US and Israel launched that attack, the Department of War and White House both said that they're dropping Anthropic, aka Claude, because Anthropic CEO says, no, we don't want you guys to use us for surveillance or any like war activities or anything like that. But this was the preferred AI company by the Department of War. But, you know, ever since that came out, then the Department of War, Pentagon, White House all condemned Anthropic and said, okay, we're banning you guys. We're not going to use you guys anymore if you have that stance, right? However, it was reported they used them anyways. Even though they said they were banning them, reports are they still used them for whatever. And now they're back at the table because after that declaration, a lot of people wrote in and said, hey, you're setting a bad precedent. You can't just deem some AI company, especially an American-based AI company, to be bad, and it's not good for anyone. So now they're back at the table. OpenAI also made a deal, but OpenAI did it without any restrictions, and OpenAI and Sam Altman caught a lot of flack for that. In fact, the negative ratings started going up on the app. A lot of people started canceling OpenAI because Sam just said, yeah, we'll make a deal and they could do whatever. And then he kind of backtracked on that stance afterwards. So Anthropic is actually looking pretty good. But yeah, it's funny how this is developing. And this shows you how powerful AI is. Again, a lot of people still discount AI. A lot of people still think AI is just whatever. It's a tool that can, tell you some stuff. It's just a little bit more intelligent than Google search. No, AI is very, very important. So important that our Defense Department is using it for their military missions, for their tactical, strategic, planning and all that stuff that they use AI. That's how good and how useful it is. And I will say from personal experience, after using Claude for about a month, I do really enjoy Claude. It is my go-to, except I still have the AIs pit. I pit the AIs against each other, fact check each other. But Claude is really, really good. Just throwing that out there. That's interesting. And I guess there's like ethics to AI companies that now we have to worry about. Yeah. Outside of that, we do have, today we have a jobless claims. They'll come out. I think it did. It was a nothing burger. But tomorrow we do have a big jobs report in the U.S. Unemployment, okay, is that going to go up or down? Right now, it's anticipated unemployment is going to go down. That's the estimates. And then we got some retail sales and all these other stuff. But tomorrow, the jobs report will be pretty big. So the question on a lot of people's minds are we going to get more rate cuts? Now that we have a war and oil spiking, are we going to get rate cuts? Well, according to many, the new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, will be cutting. That's his stance. And he doesn't take oil prices into account, supposedly. Right? So we will see. Powell should be out shortly, within a couple of months. Warsh has gotten a nomination, has not been confirmed yet. But once he gets confirmation, becomes a new Fed chair, he's going to be pushing an agenda to cut our interest rates or cut the Fed fund rate, which will effectively do that in the United States. So it'll be quite interesting. Right now, we do have an FOMC meeting planned for this month. The percentage for a rate cut is near zero, so we're not going to get it this month. But the next one will be crucial, and that one will be in June. That will be after Warsh takes over. So we will see how oil prices, how the war, how our economic data, you compile it all together, whether or not it warrants 1, 2, or more rate cuts later this year. Yep. Quite interesting. Last thing on a geopolitical front, the White House, I don't know if you guys missed it, but Spain basically said, no, we want nothing to do with this war. You guys from the U.S., you can't use our bases for your strikes. And then Trump was really mad. Trump is like, we're going to use it whether you want us to use it or not. Who's going to stop us? But then Trump also just basically said, we're going to cut off all trade with Spain and this and that. Supposedly, after that conversation, White House now claims that Spain agreed that they're going to join in and let U.S. forces use their air base. But Spain then came out and said, no, we never said that. So now it's like, who's lying? And why is Spain doing this? I don't know. They're really against it. They seem to be against the U.S. They have their own reasons. We'll see. We will see. I just find that funny. All right, going back to Bitcoin and crypto, what does this all mean? Well, despite the chaos, despite the uncertainty, we have big money coming back in. Yesterday, a huge positive inflow day for Bitcoin, 462 million to be exact, and then 170 came in for ETH and 4 million for XRP and a staggering 19 million for Sol. Sol's really picking up. So bottom line is this: you got a lot of people that are coming back in from Wall Street, institutions, retail. They're coming back recognizing, hey, we are part of the bottoming process right now. And afterwards, that's when things recover. That is what's showing. This week has been really good for inflows. Last week, really good for inflows. Let's see. We got a couple more days left of this week. Let's see if this continues. And part of this bottoming process is getting over the fear, which we're starting to recover. Can you see that? Yesterday, we were at extreme fear level of 10. Normally, we don't go to 10 or below 10 ever unless you're in like extreme fear levels, like bottoms of crypto winter, right? And we jumped up to 22. We're still fearful, but not nearly as fearful as crypto bottoms. Like the bottom of last winter was, I remember it was like 8 or something. It was 10, 11, 8, something around there. And this cycle, we actually went below that. I think we hit 6, which was unheard of. But you could see this is part of bottom process. People are getting less fearful. They're still very cautious, very fearful, but less fearful. That's part of it. That's part of it. And you know what else is part of it is this. Jane Street. You know, it's discovered that Jane Street is the one behind this 10 a.m. dump. A lot of rumors speculating that they are the ones that kept us down. And ever since lawsuits started happening, that 10 a.m. dump disappeared. And we started actually forming a bottom, and now we're a little bit higher from that. The interesting thing is now, guess what? It seems like they've moved to silver. You know, it's just funny. A few days ago, someone was asking me, why did silver fall down 11%? I'm like, I have no idea. It's being manipulated. Guess who may be manipulating now? I can't believe that they have the balls to do that after being caught for Bitcoin. Now they're just going to go to silver. You know who else was caught manipulating silver before? JP Morgan. And they got a huge fine. It's funny how this works. But if this is true, we'll probably go see a lot of manipulation around silver for quite some time. But again, I have a hard time believing that any big institution in Wall Street is actually doing this, and people are paying attention and they continue to do it. I don't see how that's possible. But we'll see. Rumors are they are in. This is not a rumor. They are in silver. They're one of the largest holders of silver ETF. And I guess we'll see. It's just really, really interesting. All right, moving forward. American Bitcoin members scoop up the stock following earnings. American Bitcoin obviously backed by the Trump family. Big mining company continue to push forward. A lot of other mining companies decided that, hey, it was more profitable to kind of go into AI space. So recently we've heard of other ones do that. But American Bitcoin is solely focused on Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining, and that is what we want. And here's something else too, relating to Bitcoin mining. The hash rate surges 50% in 1 month. 50%. Because a lot of miners were shutting off their rigs. It was unprofitable, difficulty adjusted. Now people are getting back. This is also part of the bottoming process. Whenever you see hash rate go down a lot, it's not a good thing. But to see a surge back 50% 1 month, absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. What else? You have public company DDC that buys additional 65 Bitcoin. Rumors are Strategy is going to be buying 1,000 Bitcoin soon based on their strike offerings. That's probably on Monday. We'll see how much it is. We actually have a prediction about that on Clash Picks. I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But as for Bitcoin, are we going to break out further? What is the next stop? A lot of people are looking at 80K. 80K actually fits because we do have a CME gap there. Okay, but are we going to hold at these levels first, or are we going to retrace down before we do that? I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll see how today goes. Today is a red Wall Street day. So is that going to pull Bitcoin down further, or are we going to see Bitcoin continue to hold strong? But that is the next stop. Once we break through this point, the 74 point, it's 80K. And that, if you look at it, that's a natural support level too. So it makes a lot of sense. And it makes a lot of sense that, again, we've been part of this bottoming process, and now you're seeing people come back, right? Wall Street is buying through ETFs. You have these public trade companies that are buying, and whales, retail, buying. A lot of metrics that show this, that accumulation actually has been skyrocketing, and they're not going to stop. No one's going to stop. People that believe in Bitcoin are not going to stop. Maybe for short time periods, they may stop, but overall, just look at that chart. Since 2025, skyrocketing. Now, the last 4 things I'll show you guys as part of this article. These 4 Bitcoin charts show Bitcoin's price is forming a bottom. Okay. Again, a lot of these metrics. This one is just showing you from top to bottom, from tops of previous cycles to the bottom of crypto winters, how long it takes. The prior 3 looks like 14 months. And we're in month 13, I guess. So, and we're moving into month 14. So, that's a signal. That's usually about 14 months. Okay. Here's another one, just showing that, hey, we're at the bottom of this channel. Last few times, crypto winters, we hit the bottom. And then kind of hovered there. And then we recovered. This happened also with COVID too, right around 2020. So again, one of those signals. You could see we didn't go as high this last time. We should have gone a lot higher, but I think the conditions were just not right. This cycle is also different. So it could be that we never reach the top, but we just keep stair-stepping upwards. We'll see. Here's another one, part of the bottoming process. This is more short-term. This is just within the last month or so. We've been going sideways. Couldn't break above 70. And then we finally did it. This is part of that bottoming process. And then lastly is this, the drawdown from all-time high. Okay. Every single cycle, the drawdown for crypto winter decreases. So the first one, the drawdown was like 90%. Second one was about 80 something. Okay. Third one was also 80 something. But the last one before that was in the 70s. This time, we hit 50. So that could be it. That could be it. We'll see. We'll see. This could also be a mid-cycle dip. If you look at like 2021, this also happened. People don't realize in 2021, we had a 50% dip. We went from 64,000 down to 28,000. And then we recovered back up to 69,000, right? This also could be that. I've shown metrics that show that this is a mid-cycle dip. And then we climb back up. That actually makes more sense, because if we do come back really fast, this will absolutely correlate with that. This wouldn't be more like a crypto winter bottom, because crypto winters take a long time. They take years. So anyways, we will see. These are some signals. Also, there are so many other signals. So many. Bottom line is, you don't want to be flooded out of this market. Stay strong, stay focused, pay attention to what's going on, and continue to hodl in DCA. That's the name of the game. Today, look at it. It's NASDAQ is actually coming back. NASDAQ isn't as red. It does seem like Wall Street's like, we're still going to be loading up. It's a good day to be loading up. So we'll see how this develops. NASDAQ could be turning green very, very soon. Gold, silver down today. You got Broadcom jumping up 4%, AI. And then you got Robinhood that's still green. Coinbase turned green. MicroStrategy's down a little bit, but could turn to green. All these companies had huge days yesterday. Coinbase was up like 15% or something yesterday. So we'll see if they continue. All right, let's do some Q&A. Someone just put a 15K Clash prediction on Spurs game. You know, I got to say, people love sports. They love sports. We've been getting some crazy volume on NBA games. And now it's picking up for NHL games, too. A lot of Soul bids. But, man, look at that 15,000 Pistons Spurs. Someone really thinks Spurs go win. The Lakers already has 17,000. Last night we had our biggest event for sports ever. We had like 350,000 Clash with like 8 Soul volume. Things are really picking up. People really, really love sports for sure. Where's the Spurs? Yeah, this is 15K, 17K. But outside of sports, I mean, we got so many others about, what's going on within Iran, right? Who is the next supreme leader? Interesting. Will the regime fall by the 31st? We got a lot of stuff around Iran. We got stuff like this one just put up. I saw a video about Logan Paul trying to, talk about these special Pokemon packs that he has, first editions that have a black triangle on top. They're worth a ton of money. So we got an event around that. We got events around everything, guys. Crypto. Not a whole lot of people make predictions on crypto, but, all you guys are know-it-alls, so you know exactly what's going to happen. We got that for you too. And also finance too. Like I noticed like a lot of these weekly stuff, like we have one from Microsoft that someone put some big money into, and it makes a lot of sense. If you guys have stocks or hold stocks and you know exactly, maybe it ended already. No, here we go. Like this one. Microsoft weekly close, green or red. This is ending in 3 hours. Like if you're looking at stocks, Microsoft is pretty green this week, So for those of you guys that are holding like some of these big stocks like Tesla or Microsoft, or you're looking at S&P 500, these are pretty good events that you guys can predict in. I'm gonna be honest. I'm low energy today because I'm feeling really tired. I don't know why. I did work out yesterday. Maybe worked out a little too late. But man, I'm low energy. Oof. Golf is also gaining traction. Yeah, we have the own. Man, I always have a Arnold Palmer Invitational. Somehow that's hard to say. We got that going as well. But right now, what's carrying us really is the NBA. But you know, spring training, Cubs, Rangers. We got baseball. Can't wait until the season starts. Also, March Madness is starting in like a couple weeks. We're gonna have a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. People really enjoy using P Clash, which is given out for free. All of you guys go in and claim. We're going to update the site a little bit so it's easier to understand. For first time users, you'll understand what P Clash is about and how to get it, and we're going to make it easier. Everyone can predict their P Clash. You can win real rewards. People are competing fiercely every week over the Clash rewards that's given out. Okay, for the top 5 performers of P Clash. Again, that's given out for free. And this is just for fun. But of course, we have Clash, and then we have Soul now. And we're running competition with our Volume Championship, and people are taking this really seriously, and people are making a lot. A lot. This number 1 guy for this month, which only has been 5 days, he's up 54% ROI plus profit of 56,000 Clash. And this guy, Coffee Cognac, up 37,000 in 5 days. Crazy. And sold too. We're giving out a lot for our Volume Championship competition. It's all skill-based, guys. It's all skill-based. If you know what you're doing, you're paying attention, you do your research, you go do fine. Man, I feel like I'm gonna die here. Either I'm sick or I'm really tired. I feel like I'm like my energy level is at like a 1 right now out of 10. King Andrew says, Arnold Palmer Invitational was awesome. The front entrance to the tournament is across the street. Wow. You must be living in some mansion then, I'm assuming. I don't know where it is, but I'm assuming usually with these big golf courses, it's only nice houses that are around. Well, look at that. We're turning upwards. We're going up. It's one of the OG homes built in '68. Pretty sweet though. I'm glad to hear. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm not a big golf guy. I played before, but I'm not a big golf guy. But as I get older, I should probably take it up again. If we can crack the 73.8 for Bitcoin, we're going to be looking pretty good. Next level, right around here, 76.7. Then next level after that, about 78, 79,000. Then after that, 84. Then after that, 87. We got these natural support lines to hit. Big P says, golf good for people with small hands. Are you gonna try? Are you implying something with that statement, or is that factual? People with large hands can't do well in golf because their hands are too big for the club? I don't think that's actually true. Have you seen this show Landman? Yeah, I finished. It's a really good show. Season 2 was a little boring at times. It's too much like um, relationship stuff. They were trying to build a character, getting a little bit off from oil. But it seems like season 3 they're gonna go back to oil. Hopefully. Season 1 was really good. Season 2 is still good. I still watched it, but they deviated a little bit from season 1. Small hands just means your Ferrari keys look bigger in your palm. I guess that's true. I guess that's true. Any heads up leverage plays keeping your eyes on? Like right now, I did a little leverage. I did a little 3x on this way up, so I made a little money back. Um, but if we could hold here, I think it's a good point. I don't know. I don't know. Like right now, I mean, there's probably a good chance they could go back down to like 67. But if we can hold here and break above and hold above here for a while, I don't know. I think that's a good point. I mean, overall, spot buying is never a bad idea. You know, from the 60s till now, I don't think it's a bad idea at all. To load up on Bitcoin, to load up on these like severely oversold alts like Sol and ADA and ETH and XRP and SUI and of course Clash. Sure, there's a chance we could go down a little bit, but I still maintain this. We're much closer to bottom than we are to top. And I really think that 60K was our bottom. That's why we haven't hit it again. We've been holding in the 60s for a little bit. Now we've broken above. Let's see. Let's see what happens. The new Yellowstone spinoff. You know what? I've never actually seen Yellowstone. I was actually, a lot of people said it's a good show. Never watched it. Never got into it. Yeah, NASDAQ turned green. So that's good. Berkshire Hathaway, what they need to do is start buying Bitcoin or Bitcoin ETFs. Or, at the very least, they could say they're just buying MicroStrategy. That's all they need. If they don't want to seem like they're doing a 180 on Bitcoin, they just buy strategy shares. Or they buy Strike or something because, you know, it's paying dividends. So, that might be better. Clash is holding at 35, which is good. We should be a lot higher than that. Once people realize what Clash Picks does for Clash, the flywheel effect, and once they see it in action, then people will realize how undervalued the coin is right now. But in the meantime, we'll continue to pushing forward, and Clash Picks is doing great. Phenomenal, in fact. One of the best prediction marketplaces out there. And we'll keep pushing with more events, better events, and continue to make upgrades that makes us more friendly to new users, to noobs, and even more advanced people too. Here's a good one. Weekly close for S&P 500. I mean, this week has been pretty good week for almost all things. So you can see how it started and now it's crossing green. Green is the majority now. Clarity Act has 71% chance to pass on Polymarket. Have you heard any updates on that? Nope. Nope. I don't actually think we have an event on Clarity Act. But it's pretty obvious that it's going to pass. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You know, the administration and Trump is so pro crypto. There's no way that it's not going to pass. That is one of his agendas to pass. Again, I don't know if he really knows, if Trump himself really knows anything about crypto, but he's going to do what it takes to help his family. And his family is very involved with crypto. That's for sure. You can bet on that. Okay. His family is extremely, extremely deep into crypto, 100% deep. So you know that everything is going to change. It's already changing, but it's going to change even more. I don't know how many of you guys watch F1 racing. There's some decent soul in here. I don't know anything about F1. What about, yeah, these are all the stuff around the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Oops. We actually have more. I don't know. Maybe some of them expired or closed. But I thought we had more. Maybe not, but you know, they're up here for you guys. All right, I'm gonna check out. I'm like dying here. So anyways, we'll see how the rest of today goes. Less Iran stuff, more geopolitical at this point, at least today. We'll see how things go and shape up for the rest of this week. A lot of bottoming processes going on right now. A lot of bottom signals are upon us. So stay strong, my friends. Stay strong. Check out Clash Picks. Smash it a like. Subscribe to the channel. Have a good one. Take care.